On today's episode of Detour Tales from Hell, we have a guest from over the pond out of Manchester, George Heaton. He's been on the podcast before. He is the co-founder and CEO of Represent, an amazing luxury brand that I've been following and now gotten the chance to become friends with George. We've been talking recently on social media about what's been going on with our business. He has a very unique perspective. He is in the heart of it. He's in the luxury space. It's going to be very informative to all of us fashion folks on how he's thinking about the world and where he thinks retail is going from here. Check it out. What's up, everyone? We're back with a friend of mine, George Heaton, who actually did an incredible podcast with me a few months ago when he was out in LA. He's out of England, has an incredible brand called Represent that has scaled literally organically all between him and his brother. It's like phenomenal success. And we were DMing on Instagram the other day just about how business is, how everyone's doing. And I mean, I think you'd be an incredible person to get a gauge because you're in high-end streetwear in kind of the fashion space. And like, where's your head at? What are you thinking? Like, love to hear everything you're going through.
Sure, man. Hello, everybody. Life's very weird right now. I'm in a luxury streetwear space where my price points are very mid-tier, but I sit in designer stores with the top tier brands. So at the moment, stores are cancelling orders. Stores are obviously closing down and refusing orders. So we're in a very strange situation as a brand as where to take it over the next 6-12 months.
And do you feel that like this is not just a short-term issue with retailers? Like, do you envision like, let's say in 6 months things are back to normal and we're allowed to walk about, and I don't know how strict it is in your neighborhood or in London, but obviously in America you can't go to stores, you can't go to restaurants, you can't do anything. And let's say in 6 months people are comfortable leaving their house again. Do you think people will go back to buying clothes in stores?
My opinion is, however long it takes, the consumer's going to be acting a lot differently. I don't believe people will be going to stores. I think e-commerce is obviously already such a huge platform. I think everyone's going to shift towards that. And brands like myself will end up, like I've just done, is kind of cancelling the business of B2B, selling to stores and just focusing on their online platforms where their profit is higher and they can do more. And they don't, I think seasons are going to disappear. And I think the whole fashion week situation is going to really take a turn.
Who do you think is going to suffer the most? Like, what type of brands, what type of businesses?
I don't know, the whole supply chain is going to suffer because stores are cancelling orders. So then brands are minimizing their orders with factories. Factories are getting hit because of that. And then factories are then minimizing their fabric orders. So even the mills are getting hit. So it's like a full supply chain of just sheer fucking outrage, I suppose. Everyone's gonna feel it. Everyone's gonna feel it.
Yeah, and like, so knowing what you know now, and you're obviously taking a very like aggressive view of like what you think will happen. What changes are you going to do in your business that like we should be all be thinking about?
Well, I've spent the last 2 weeks just completely re-strategizing everything we do. 50% of my business was B2B and was really strong this year, and we booked a lot for wholesale for fall winter 20. And I've kind of just knocked that on the head and retracted all my wholesale orders with factories. And well, luckily I do have a strong online presence. We built the brand up through Instagram and through social media. So we do have that really strong customer base that's always there willing to buy from us. So I'm gonna rein back the season, not put it into stores unless we're doing special products for them stores. And our seasons will go online, but we'll do weekly drops rather than 2 main collection drops, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and it's crazy. So you made that drastic of a switch in 2 weeks, which is why I think like brands like yourself are actually going to come out of this much stronger. So imagine a larger brand, a global brand, they couldn't even make that switch, right? Like they're just going to have to stomach the.
If you believe in your stock, it's always going to sell. But like for me, I'm a small fish in a very big pond. So say a big retailer has got to diminish 50% of their business for fall winter. I'm going to be in that bottom 50% where I'm not Balenciaga or Prada. I'm not a brand that they've been working for 20 plus years. Like I'm already getting emails from stores saying we're canceling future orders, spring, summer 20, anything summer, don't ship it. Like I don't want to be working on stores terms. And I'm sure a lot of brands in my same marketplace and the smaller high-end brands, the smaller streetwear brands that are in these big stores are just going to get pushed to the back and their orders won't get paid for, they'll get cancelled. And maybe even fall winter's not going to be a season. So I don't want to be stuck with a load of stock for all these stores that then they're going to decline it. I'm going to have to put it on sale and kind of ruin my brand reputation with it. So
and what do you think that, like, do you think that what's the opportunity you're seeing in the market? Like, do you think that you should drop your prices because now you're direct to consumer? Do you think you can expand categories because other people are going to be waiting on wholesale to come around? Like, because there's no rules. Like, you could do whatever you want. So what would you do?
There's no rules, and I've always put my prices where it's like really stretched online because I have to make that wholesale margin to be able to continue the business and put it into these stores. So now I'm going to retract them stores. I can change my price points because my margins online are a lot higher. So I've been testing the waters with it for the past 6 months anyway, to see like what I can bring them down to really increase the traffic and the purchases online. And I've built like a great price point anyway. So I'm pretty confident what we're choosing to do will work.
And do you think that people that buy like on the higher end of the spectrum of products, so like, is your customer predominantly younger people with money? Is that kind of?
I guess so, yeah, but not even like not with money. I guess I've got the luxury buyers that are purchasing it to wear with the top end brands, and I've got people that stretch their money to afford my clothes. So I'm kind of in a good middle ground. And
So do you think a guy that was like shopping at a Balenciaga or Prada still wants great product? Do you think he'll come to you because he's like, why am I spending this kind of money in a time like this, but I still want great product? Do you see that as an opportunity?
that already happens with us. We already see that anyway, because like I've always strived for the best quality, and I make sure I'm made in the factories in the same places as these other brands that are charging 10 times what I charge. So that's always been my mission, is to create the best product at the best price point. So
sorry to interrupt. But what about, in speaking of product, like what are your factories saying? Do you see, is there an opportunity to grow with them? Is it opportunity to get better prices? Like I talked to one of my shoe factories yesterday, and they told us that everyone has canceled except for us. We're the only brand that didn't cancel.
I didn't just make this decision to cancel wholesale just like on the spot. Like we've been toying with it for a while, but I spoke to every single factory. I think we have 15 factories altogether. I spoke to all of them before we made any decisions, and they said every brand is minimizing their orders or even canceling their orders. So to me, it seems like everyone's doing the same thing. I spoke to stores that I have good relationships with, and they all agreed that what we're doing is probably the right thing.
Yeah.
I guess it's hit like just as spring summer's finished and as fall winter is in production for these brands. It's a very strange period of time. I've been reading a lot of articles, and like I saw the LA article from WWD, and everyone's halted their fall winter productions and they don't know what's going to happen until this is over. So yeah, it's going to be strange to see, but I'm actually excited for it. I'm excited to see what happens.
So what would you say to someone that's about to launch a brand right now? Would you tell them this is a great opportunity because a lot of brands are asleep, or would you say there's nobody shopping anyway, so why start now?
I think there's definitely less people shopping, but there's a downfall. There's always going to be an upturn in that. Like there's going to be a comeback. That maybe it's the height of summer and everything goes back to normal. Maybe it's winter. I don't know when it's going to be, but it's always going to get back on track. Like I've not worked through a recession before, and I've always made sure that I've got the cash in the bank and I've got the ability to support all the staff and go through it. And if we have to turn all means of income off for 6 months, we're still alive.
Yeah.
So I think if you're going to start and build a brand now, I think it's like a requirement that you should make sure you can build that bank balance and actually have equity to be able to withstand something that happens like this. So
Yeah,
it'll
it's really interesting. When the first time you were telling me your story, it's crazy how profitable and healthy you've always ran the business. That was a mistake I did early on. I took on massive amounts of risk. I was credit cards. I had so much debt that I was like, that's why in the last recession, we really got wiped out and our business really shrunk. And I think for us now, that was a very painful lesson, but we're in a much healthier position 10 years later to withstand this. And how were you able to do that from day one?
To be honest, it was just because I didn't really understand finances at all, and I didn't even know how to apply for a credit card. So all I did was print t-shirts, make the money, print more t-shirts, build the bank account, and I didn't touch it for like 3 years until I could actually rent a place to then have an office, because I was working out of the back garden and then in my dad's shed and stuff like that. So it was all about just like building a security there, so I can expand, and if things happen that are bad, I've always got like this amount in the bank that'll see me over for this amount of time.
That's amazing.
I don't know why I did that. I just did that just in case. There's always keep something for a rainy day, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's impressive because most people don't do that. Sorry, 1 second. I got to my kids banging on the drums. Sorry. But I was saying, most people don't do that. Like most people don't take the time to save money or save cash. And that's why I think I'm scared, specifically for streetwear, because I
Yeah,
know how aggressively people spend in streetwear, whether it be fashion weeks, traveling, showrooms, and all of that is gone, right? Like it was gone overnight.
yeah. Well, it seems it's gone. Yeah, and I don't know. Everyone's just gonna have to focus on the direct to consumer. That's what I'm doing. That's the only path I can see that's gonna work. Come out of this. Stores don't have loyalty for smaller brands. They will literally cut you off with an email, and they won't pay for your previous seasons or whatever. And I think I built my brand through money coming in, money going out for production and marketing, and money coming back in through the website. And that, like, the money that comes in through your site is in your bank account the same day. When you're dealing with these wholesalers and they don't want to pay, and then they want 90 days terms, and then they still don't pay, and you're constantly chasing your tail. Whereas when you are direct to consumer, you get in that money as you make it. So I
Yeah,
guess it.
yeah, it's very true. And one of the things you also said that was interesting that I still remember is you always strive for like really high quality product because, one, obviously you're in the luxury segment, so you have to deliver that. But in a time like this where people value every dollar spent, do you think you'll be rewarded for having this? Like, obviously people appreciate the great product quality, but I'm just trying to think in the last recession, if people were going to make a high end purchase, they wanted like something that was going to last, something that meant something. You're just not going to go buy like a Balenciaga fanny pack because you're just, you want a luxury brand. So I just feel like you're sitting in an interesting place because you do make really high quality garments.
Yeah. That I don't really know what to say about that. Like, that's just, I don't know if it's a personal thing, or it's just because I make what I want to wear, and I want to wear good clothes that fit well, and the quality is good, and they don't shrink in the wash, and they're seasonless. And that's just how the brand has been built.
That's great. Last couple questions. How's your staff doing? How are they feeling? Are they nervous? Are they like, that's something I'm dealing with.
They know what I'm like, and they know that I've always got them. I've always got them through and through, and I've told them that, and I've put it out there how we're changing the strategy of the business, and this and that's going to happen. And I'm making them all read The Business of Fashion, WWD, Drapers every day, and just keeping up to date of what's actually going on with inside our realm. So like I update them, I let them know everything. Everyone's working from home. We're having Zoom calls every day, and we're just cracking on as it is. And until something drastically happens, then we're just going for it.
Amazing. And then the last question I had, because I think you guys do a great job on social media, producing content and just really like high-end visuals. Do you think that changes because it becomes so hard to execute those things right now?
Yeah, I think it does. I think you've got to be really like creative with how now we've got to get content. Luckily, like I make the product to fit myself and my brother, so we've got ourselves to use for imagery or fit sessions or anything like that. So and 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 really, you can go outside and get some content on your concrete floors or whatever. There's tons of ways of doing things. It's not going to disappear completely, but you just got to be more creative with it.
And amazing. And then parting words. So let's say your business is struggling right now. And if there's one piece of advice you would give, and it doesn't need to be in fashion, it could be anything, because I think a lot of people, my friends included, we're all kind of going through different challenges. What's kind of helped you just get through the last couple of weeks?
I think it's just stick to my routine. I'm really like rigorous with how I train and how I wake up and how I like vision things. So like just stay in your lane, stay with what you were doing. Maybe your circumstances have changed, but like you're still gonna come out of it and go back to how you were building your brand anyway. So just keep working at it, keep thinking about stuff, keep writing everything down, keep reading, keep staying like up to date in the industry that you're in. Because there's articles coming out every fucking second about what's going on within your own industry.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much. I know it's late over there. Appreciate your time. Stay
All good.
safe out there.
What's going on over there? I saw a load of videos of tanks in the river basin. Is that real?
That's all fake news. So,
Fair.
so there are National Guard cars that people have actually seen. The problem is that there are a lot of videos that have surfaced, and they're older videos of tanks coming on the street. I'm sure there are tanks in California. There's no doubt in my mind. We do have a lot of army bases, but like every day someone posts, "Oh my God, they're coming to LA." If we have tanks on the street in like on Sunset Boulevard, like I live one block from Sunset, we are fucked, royally fucked.
I was trying to fly back over for the week before Coachella, so like literally next week,
Oh,
and it's just awful, isn't it? Like
yeah.
everyone's summer plans are just disrupted, and no one
Yeah.
knows. Like, what do you actually expect is going to happen? How long do you think this is going to take?
I think what's going to happen is that there's going to be regions of the country that feel a little bit healthier and safe, and they'll slowly allow certain things to continue open up. The problem is, I don't think that's like, I used to think it could happen in a few weeks,
Yeah.
but unless the healthcare system says, hey, we can handle the influx of people. So maybe in 3 weeks, all of a sudden there's enough hospital beds all over the country because they're building it in stadiums and boats and whatever. Because that's really the problem. Because in a month's time or 2 months' time, Corona doesn't go away.
This
All
is
it does is just, hopefully we can treat it a little faster and better. But the virus is going to take until a vaccine comes on the market or some sort of,
this is
yeah.
what I don't understand. Like we're on lockdown now for 3 weeks. Everyone thinks after 3 weeks they're going to be out partying and doing whatever, but realistically, I'm sure it's got to go to 0 cases for that to actually happen, and it's still on a massive rise in the UK and the US. So how do they see 3 weeks as a
Yeah. The only option is test every single person in the US and the UK or in every country. And then those that are not testing positive or don't have the antibody, those people can go on with their life. Everyone else has to continue to stay quarantined. I mean, the problem is we're quarantining everybody, and not necessarily everybody needs to be quarantined. So that's another dilemma we're all facing.
I mean, our Prime Minister just got it.
Did he really?
Yeah, Boris Johnson.
Boris Johnson got.
Got it
I
today.
didn't see that this morning. Well, he's also kind of an idiot.
Nah, he's a good guy. Good guy. Everyone thinks he's a good guy now. I genuinely believe that we're going to be quarantined for three months. I think that the world will get back to normal by January next year.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so there's a lot more pain than to be felt.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I think we're still at the start of it.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see. Hopefully, everyone saved enough money to get through it.
I don't know. The government's bailing everyone out anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, the problem is in America they're giving people $1,200, which was not enough.
Not in LA. That's one shopping trip to whatever it's called. I was like, yeah, that's a week's worth of food from Whole Foods, isn't it?
Yeah. 1,200, you'll be in poverty.
It's all right over here though. That'll last.
Yeah.